This is the MMA Brief Podcast, recapping the world of mixed martial arts every single week, with your host, Brandon Johansson.
Welcome back to the MMA Brief. Episode 29, recapping UFC Fight Night 111 from Singapore. We're going to start with the first fight on the main card. Former lightweight champion Rafael dos Anjos picked up a much-needed win in his welterweight debut against Tariq Sponge Saffiedine. Rafael dos Anjos looked strong for the weight class and was able to grind out the victory. Colby Covington dominated the Korean stun gun Dun Young Kim by way of lopsided decision. Marcin Tybura picked up a huge win against former UFC heavyweight champion Andrei Arlovski. Tybura secured a takedown and eventually mounted Arlovski in the first round. Beat him up. Andre, tough vet, was able to see round 2, which is a round I thought the Pitbull won. Going into round 3, both men very exhausted, and Tybura was able to secure a takedown and the victory. Holly Holm snapped her 3-fight losing streak with a third-round head kick knockout of Correia. Somewhat uneventful until the fight-ending sequence. Betch put her hands down, taunted Holly, invited her to come forward. And they have said a smart ass don't belong in the saddle. I say especially not in battle. Holly obliged her taunting with a shin to the chin that dropped her to the ground in a semi-conscious, confused state, and Holly followed it up with one violent punch to her face, and that was all she wrote. Big win for Holly Holm, who needed it at this point. The biggest news in the fight world right now is the announcement of Floyd Mayweather versus Conor McGregor, set for August 26th in a boxing match. The inaugural women's featherweight champion, Germaine de Randamie, has been stripped of her title, which she earned by decision against Holly Holm, because she refuses to fight Cyborg. Subsequently, Cyborg will now face Megan Anderson at UFC 214 for said vacant featherweight title. Coming up this weekend, it's filled with great MMA fights. On Saturday, Bellator 180, headlined by the rematch between Mr. Wonderful Phil Davis and Ryan Darth Bader, this time for Bellator 205-pound gold. Also on the card, Lyoto's brother, Chinzo Machida, fighting the undefeated James Gallagher. But wait, there's more. Bellator's second attempt at pay-per-view immediately follows Bellator 180, which is live and free on Spike. I'm going to pony up the dough for the pay-per-view portion of this Bellator event. Is headlined by Chael P. Sonnen and the Axe Murderer Vanderlei Silva. Co-main evented by Fedor and Matt Mitrione. Also on the card, Douglas Lima defending his welterweight title against Bellator newcomer Lorenz Larkin. And one of the very best 155-pound fighters in the world, Michael Chandler, defending his title against undefeated Brett Primus. But wait, there's more. Sunday, UFC Fight Night 112, Michael Chiesa versus the Motown phenom Kevin Lee. 2 high-ranking lightweights. Also, former welterweight champion Johnny Big Rig Hendricks fights Tim the Barbarian Bosch in his second middleweight fight. Dennis Seaver squares off against the legend BJ Penn. And another fight I'm looking forward to is Clay Guida versus Eric Koch. This weekend is filled with excellent fights. Come back next week. We're going to recap them all. Thank you for listening. Peace.